All right, welcome everyone. Today's webinar, what I'm going to be going over is one of Zacks' new products, Zacks Advisor Tools, and kind of give a brief overview of the website as what it provides as much as research, data, and kind of all of our quantitative scores that we have together to kind of putting that all together. My name is Jeffrey Schmidt, and I'm the Junior Client Relationship Manager here at Zacks, mainly focusing in on clients that deal with and have advisor tools. Just kind of a quick overview of what I'll be covering in today's webinar. First, just some quick background and history on Zacks, then going into our predictive return models, kind of overviewing those and what goes into them, our Zacks Rank, our mutual fund ranking, and ETF Rank. And then from there, tying in those ranks, we'll start going into our website, advisor tools, and from there I'll cover just the main tabs and sections in this website, whether it be watch lists, creating lists to monitor the securities that we cover. From there we'll have some idea generators, whether it be screening for certain stocks, ETFs, or mutual funds, Zacks Research, reading the reports or suggestions that we do have on any of the securities, as well as kind of lists and idea generators that we've created in model portfolios. Lastly, we have market strategy, where we'll be going over kind of market overall reports that we have, and lastly, just some general charting and get you a visual of what that looks like on our tool. So just diving right into it, and just going to give some background and history on Zacks. Zacks Investment Research has been around for 30 plus years, and really what we're trying to do is help investors find success, and that's really been the life's work of our founder and CEO, Len Zacks, who founded this company in 1978 with his PhD in mathematics from MIT, and when he really hit upon his key discovery of earning estimate revisions are the most powerful force impacting stock prices. And with this crucial finding he made, and being the quant-driven guy that he is, he developed the Zacks Rank to really harness the power of earnings estimates and continue to build in different quant models that he's created throughout his time being here at Zacks now. Just before I go into those overall Zacks Rank and other predictive models, I just wanted to provide you a brief idea or overview of what the three main uses our clients utilize advisor tools for. The first one, being our watch list and portfolio monitor. Here you're able to be on top of your model or client portfolio holdings from prospective performance, fundamentals, and Zacks predictive models. And just to give you a quick view of what our watch list can look like, and kind of what the home page of what advisor tools does look like, is here you can have an index watch list set up to monitor the whole market, and from here you can create different watch lists that we have for our securities, whether it be equities, ETFs, or mutual funds, and it'll tie in other things like our Zacks Research, our other quantitative models, not only our Zacks Rank, some data to customize certain metrics that you're looking for, any news and events that we have are covered with any of the tickers that are in that watch list, as well as being able to set alerts for this watch list. So if you wanted to be alerted on a Zacks ranking change or creating your own price or limit alerts, here you have the ability to, for these watch lists, as well as individual alerts, to create those. The second one, basically main case of advisor tools, is being able to ad hoc analysis on specific stocks, mutual funds, or ETFs. And here you can really utilize Zacks equity research, analytics, and charting to be on top of any security coverage that we do have. So just to give you a view of, if you search any individual security, whether it be a stock, ETF or mutual fund, it does take us to this key stats page where we do provide any sort of ratio or alpha score or price performance that we do have covered on the security that we do have. From there, you can really do more of an in-depth overview of this stock, whether it be looking at the quotes, charting it, whether it be fundamental, performance, or technical, tying in our Zacks Research, estimates, quant models, being able to compare to its competitors and be able to customize those as well. Here's a peers tab, as well as news, events, and the financials if you wanted to do a deeper dive into those as well. So pretty much any sort of research or anything that we do collect on the fund or on the equity will be in these key stats page when you get ad hoc analysis. Search it up top here on the search bar, and it'll take you right to that key stats page. So it's one of our other main uses. And the last overall utilizing for advisor tools is really an idea generator. And whether it be reading articles in our Zacks Research or reviewing current recommendations from our model portfolios or screening for stocks or even funds within a certain criteria or just starting from scratch. From here, there's multiple ways to, create your own what you're looking for in a sort of idea generator way. Going into a little bit more detail about what Zacks, main flagship Zacks Rank does now, and this model really successfully predicts which companies in the short to medium term will have surprises or changes in expected earnings and which directly move the share prices. And Zacks Rank has consistently produced excess returns over the past 28 years, and really what this chart shows is an annualized return of 28.3% over those past 28 years of the top 2% of the stocks that we rank. And as you can see, it's in comparison within that time to the S&P 500 of 10.7% and the equally weighted universe of 11.2%. So you can just see of the stocks that we cover and the top 10% and that we rank, it's really done a successful job of being able to have an annualized return within the past 28 years. And the Zacks Rank approximately ranks about 4,000 stocks into 5 equal groupings, 1 being the best and 5 being the worst. And Zacks Rank optimal time horizons are about 1 to 6 months. Consequently, many institutional investors do use this model as a timeliness tool to separate the good stocks from just the good companies. Piggybacking off of the Zacks Rank success, we have created 2 other quant scores pertaining to the other securities that we cover, a mutual fund and ETF rank. And for constructing our Zacks mutual fund rank, we wanted to develop a predictive ranking system for mutual funds that would be able to separate funds into a category that those would outperform and those that would underperform the category average. And to create this mutual fund rank, we reviewed the last 20 years of academic research on the determinants of mutual fund performance and found to our surprise that there is a growing belief among investment academics that although individual stock performance may be random, mutual fund performance is influenced by organizational, institutional, and behavioral factors and can be predicted. And as you can see, the table below does break out the track record for Zacks Mutual Fund Rank when it went live in 2014, and basically showing the annualized spread return of the top rank to bottom rank. So just kind of a visual view and seeing how our mutual fund rank has done since it went live in 2014. The last ranking that we have ranks our securities that we cover is the ETF rank. and this rank can really be seen more as an asset class rank. And the asset class forecast is the main input in calculating the Zacks ETF rank. We do have a forecast for equity returns broken out by single and geographic, or by style and geographic region, fixed income rates for U.S. Treasury and mortgage and corporate bonds, foreign exchange rates for all major currencies, and commodity rates for metals, energy, and agriculture commodities. And in making these forecasts, we do rely primarily on Zacks quarterly survey of sell-side investment strategists and buy-side CIOs. And additionally, we get inputs from senior investment strategists at Zacks and Consensus Economics, London-based economic publication. So being able to find all of these ETF rankings, I'll just show you quickly if you do want to do a deeper read, as though I went over those, fairly quickly. We do have some more in-depth PDF documents on our each ranking that we have, as well as some performance history, and I'll just show you quickly where to find those if you do want to read a little bit more about those scores. So for our Zacks rank, which covers our equities that we have, if you search any of the tickers up here, or if you have a watch list created and can just click onto the ticker, it takes you straight to the key stats page. And if we come to the tab all the way over here as quant models, here we'll see all the different quantitative scores that we have for the equities that we cover. And any of these scores that you did want to learn a little bit more about, you can click on the eyes right here and it'll open up a PDF document for the Zacks rank. If you click on this green eye next to the Zacks indicator, that will open up this PDF right here that will give an overview as well as some performance history on how our Zacks rank has done, and do a little bit more read into that. For our ETF ranking, you can find, and mutual fund ranking, if you come down to the ETF research coverage or mutual fund research coverage. It'll show all of the ETFs that we cover while giving a ranking to or a report. This eye right here next to the ETF research coverage, if you click on that, it would bring up this ETF PDF that goes over an overview and what the ETF rank does cover and what goes into it. And it's very similar to the mutual fund ranking. If we come to mutual fund research coverage, here we'll have the first eye here that gives the mutual fund research coverage, as well as some live performance and how it has done since. And it'll bring up this kind of white pages that we do have on it, which just gives a little more overview on the mutual fund. So now that I showed you where those rankings are and going over the rankings, I'll go into a little bit more depth about the overall website of Advisor Tools. And as we spoke about earlier, the main page in usage that our clients utilize Advisor Tools for is Watchlists, and this is something you can set up your stocks, ETFs, or mutual funds to view daily performance data and additional tabs that provide quick access to vital asset-specific information like our research, news, and events, and these all pertain only to what is on your specific watch list. And just to give you another view of what that does look like, here I've just made a general equity watch list, but you can do it for other ones, a mutual fund watch list or ETF watch list, any of the securities that we have. And if you just enter in all of the different tickers that you want to follow, you can create it through here. And the watch list does tie a lot of our research, quantitative scores, and news together. The Zacks Research, where here you can access our analysts or snapshot reports. And here, just to give you a quick, if you click on any of these PDF documents, it would open up our analyst report, which is about an 8 to 10 page overview on the specific equity with some data overview elements of our Zacks rank and some summary, and as well as pertaining to depending on what the Zacks rank is. If it is a suggested buy of a 1 or 2, it'll have a summary in this report of reasons to buy. If it's a 4 or 5, where we have it as suggested to sell, it'll have a summary in this report of reasons to sell. And if it's a 3, a hold that we have it at, we'll have 2 summaries of reasons to buy as well as reasons to sell. So if we just scroll down in this report, we have Apple here as a 3. Here we'll have that section of reasons to buy as well as reasons to sell. So just a little bit more in-depth on, if you do want to read on what our research is telling us on these particular equities that we cover. Secondly, the next one was the ability to create, or not the ability to create, the snapshot reports that we have. This is just a one-page quick quant summary that we have, and it's a data overview kind of page that we have if you want to print out your clients, or if you just want something quick to look at on what we provide and something to print out. This is what our snapshot report does look like. Here you can see it's only one page long and just provides, some data overview as well as some rankings and industry comparison that it has. The next tab, that you can find is our quantitative scores that we have, along with not only our Zacks ETF and mutual fund ranks, we also have other predictive quantitative and style scores that pertain to the equities that we cover. And if you do want a brief overview of what these scores are, you can just hover over and it gives a description, and you can organize them in any sort of fashion that you'd like as well to compare them to the Zacks ranking. Here in the data tab, you can create your own tables to view key metric columns, not only in your watch list, but you also can utilize a larger table, an option to export to Excel through our table builders. So here you have about the ability to have about 6 metric columns, and you can add metric data to them through, searching them through all the different categories and metrics that we have. Or if you do want a little bit larger view, this Tools tab up here, depending on which watch list you do want to access. We have the stock, ETF, or mutual fund table builder. For this example, I'll just stick with the stock table builder. It's a very similar view. And here you have about the option to have about 14 metric columns in the same way, where you can get rid of any of these columns if you want to by Xing out or dragging them over where you'd like. And you have the option to export to Excel, add different metrics, and you also have the ability to tie them into any of the watch lists that you have, and you can save and rename and open them as different table builders too if you want to look at different metric columns with different watch lists that you do have. And lastly is the news and events here. Any of the events or news that pertain to a ticker that's in your watch list will be provided through these tabs, and you can just click on and see the news articles or events that are happening with the particular ticker in that watch list. And the last main factor that does pertain to our watch list is the option to create alerts, and this new alert feature allows setting up alerts that can apply to an entire watch list or to individual tickers. And each watch list does include an alerts tab where you can define the alert criteria that will be applied to the entire watch list, and each ticker within the watch list that passes the selected criteria will trigger an alert and event. So if you did come to this options tab here and you click create and edit watch list alerts, here you'd have the option for our system alerts, as well as creating, if you want to be alerted on a Zacks rank change, you just check off any of these boxes and click save. And you have the option to create your own limit alerts if you want to create price, alerts, or any of the other metrics that we do have covered. And here, if you did click on the alerts tab, it provides the ticker that changed, as well as, what the actual alert was. So kind of a quick overview of what our watch lists do provide as well as, what ties in, whether it be research, different models, instead of having to search for all of it on our website. If you do create these watch lists, it's a little bit easier to access all of this. The next area is screening, and this is a great idea generator for any of the securities we cover to get a great starting point. You can enter in, the key metrics that you're looking for when looking at a stock, ETF, or mutual fund, along with any of our, quantitative scores to get a list of tickers to give a more, in-depth analysis on. And so just to give you a quick view of what the screening area does look like and how to get to it. So you just come to the screening tab here, and depending on what security you want to screen for, you can click stock, ETF, and mutual fund, and they're all fairly similar in the views, just different categories and different metrics to search from. And this one being the stock screener here, you have the ability to screen for, Zacks ranking, as well as, different categories that we do cover. And you can look through all of these different ones. And if you don't know, what a certain metric does cover, you can hover over any of these eyes, and it provides, a brief description of what's going into that ranking or what's going into that metric. And just for a quick example, how this screening tool does function, say we want to screen for all of the stocks that have a ranking of a 1 or a 2, which Zacks we have suggested as a buy. We just click less than or equal to 2, and you have to add each metric one by one, so we just click add here. Here it would bring up the criteria that we put into the screen, as well as the matches that, compare to what stocks are ranked as a 1 or a 2. We could keep going further with this, more rankings. We could do, just for example, dividends. We want dividends, greater than or equal to 2.5. And we can click add, and that provides 51 matches. And like I said, we can keep going with categories and different metrics, but say we want to just look at the companies that do fit this criteria, we can click run screen. And here it'll provide the companies that tie in, as well as the categories and the tie-ins that we do have for the screen. If we do want to come back and edit the screen, add more to it, or take something off, we can click this tab, Edit Screen. If we want to look at a metric, but without affecting the final result of the screen, we'll just click Edit View. And here it'll bring up the same categories and metrics. And for this example, we just want to see, last close or 2-week high. We can just check off any of these boxes that we want to see the metric. We can click Run Screen, and here we can see those metrics without affecting the final results of the screens that we want. And once we're done, we can save the screen. We can have it as Zacks Rank 2 and div 2.5%. And we can just, for our stock screens, we do have to put in a short description, but it might just be easier to copy and paste the description here. Save the screen. And there it'll be there next time. If we just, for an example, come back to the home page, log back in, want to access that screen, we can just click Screening, Stock Screener. And if we click on My Screens, here we'll have that screen where we can load it or run it. If we want to add more to it, we can load, or we can delete the screen all in all. So just kind of a quick view. For our stock screens, we do have this predefined tab. So if you don't necessarily have an idea or a metric that you want to measure for or look for, here we have about 50 already pre-made screens with a title and description that goes into them. And if we want to see the criteria that goes in, we can load the screen, and it'll provide all the different metrics and rankings criteria that we have, as well as the matches. So just a kind of other idea generator that you do want to go from, possibly if you don't know where to start in the screening tool. For the other securities that we cover, like I said, it's pretty similar view, just different categories and rankings. So just one section of kind of an idea generator through advisor tools that we have. The next area is our Zacks Research tab. Here we can find, all of the securities that we cover, as well as we have kind of stock, ETF, and mutual fund ideas, whether it be reports or kind of stock picking strategies and commentary. Here we can just come to the stock ideas page, and I'll show you right there. If we got to this Zacks Research area, if we come on stock ideas, ETF ideas, mutual fund ideas, very similar on what they provide. This being the stock ideas page. Here we have suggestions for bull of the day, bear of the day. So if we just click on that, it provides a brief description of that stock pick for the day. We can click up here for some history on all of the bull of the days that we've picked. We can do the same thing for bear of the day stocks. We have some equity research articles, as well as some stock picking strategy articles. And if we wanted to see all of them, we can just click on this More Stocks Commentary tab. And here we can go through back in history and all of the different stock picking strategy articles that we do have. Very similar to ETF and mutual fund, ideas. Here we have a page, that goes into, different mutual funds, as well as mutual fund research that we have, and it's very similar to ETF ideas, so all different idea generators, and the same thing being for the equity research, ETF research, or mutual fund research coverage. We can click on any of these, and what this tab does is it provides all of the sections, or all of the equities that we do have covered, whether it be giving a ranking to or have a report on. And here we can sort them through, sectors or industry, or even a Zacks ranking, just kind of a general overview of these, securities that we cover. It's the same type of view for ETFs or mutual funds as well. So just another idea generator tab that we do have and what goes into those. And the last one being model portfolios, and most of the model portfolios are not as much model portfolios as they are kind of lists and idea generators, just because, for these top, 6 or so, they're a little bit larger with about 75 plus companies in there, so probably a little larger than what, model portfolio might have. But if you go into any of these ones, and I'll just show up the Zacks Focus List, that's kind of one of our, actually managed model portfolios. If you do click on this eye here, it will provide kind of the description of what goes into each of the model portfolios that we do cover, if that interests you. So just going more in detail about the Zacks Focus List, however, it's a portfolio mainly of 50 stocks or so, and that are set up to outperform the market over the next 12 months. And the stock selection criteria reflect our enduring reliance on earnings estimate revisions, and each of the new additions to the portfolio is handpicked from a long list of stocks that have a Zacks rank of a 1 or a 2. And given the best in-class earnings momentum of stocks with these attributes, we do keep them on the portfolio even as their Zacks rank changes subsequently. And the focus list is expected to serve more as a starting point for long-term investors to build their portfolios. And this Zacks focus list is updated weekly, as these other model portfolios are updated quarterly. And the focus list model portfolio is quantitatively based on Zacks rank, but also it's fundamentally managed. And this one is managed by our Director of Research, Shiraz Mian. And like we said, there is some, Zacks ranks 3, you might see a 4 in there, just because he does use his fundamentally managed analysis. And he does write a brief overview each week of what goes into his process of the focus list for that week. And you can find that report under this market strategy and weekly market analysis that would provide kind of just a quick summary of that week. You can also look at the focus list history week by week if you'd like to. Here, you can click on any of these PDFs and it shows, the stocks that were in there for the most updated week. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it will provide the different the subtractions or additions for that week for the focus list. So just kind of a more managed and kind of the last, idea generator for these model portfolios. The next section is kind of the different market strategy articles or reports that we do have. We have weekly, we have monthly, and quarterly different reports, either on the overall market or certain sectors, and or asset allocations. Just for a brief example, you can, for these reports, you can access them on that market strategy tab, and you'll find any of these reports below here. And just for an example, this weekly sector and market earnings trend, this report is written by our Director of Research, Shiraz Mian, and here he offers earnings and estimate revisions, expectations, and analysis of the U.S. sectors. One that a lot of our clients and a lot of our users do tend to use is the monthly investing update and asset allocation report. This report is written by our Chief Equity Strategist, John Blank, and here he provides a forecast for all major asset classes and our U.S. and global GDP growth outlook. It is a little bit more in-depth overview if you do want to see it, and it does come out monthly, but a lot of our clients do like to look into these. So any of these you can kind of read about what goes into those reports more and see which one helps you the most in your market strategy overall research, or just more idea generators in each section. Lastly, the charting section. Here we have the option for technical, performance, or fundamental charts. And just a brief overview of the technical chart, you can go into more technical analysis on visual charting. For performance chart, if you want to visually look and compare performance with other companies, you can use performance charting. And if you want to dig more into the fundamentals of a company or a fund, you can use our fundamental chart. And within the certain charting, you're also able to perform some economic charting using different economic indicators. Just to give you a quick view of what the charting does look like, this is just our fundamental charting. Here you can add different securities, compare it to different indexes, as well as different financial metrics you can have on different panels, or on a single panel. You do have the ability to export these to PDF and PNG, and if you do print off any of our charts, you do have the ability to personalize them a little bit more by updating your own picture or company logo, and that'll appear if you do upload it to our Advisor Tools website. It'll print off, and your logo will be on these charts whenever you print them out too. And just to give you a little bit more view of the technical charting and being able to measure different indicators that we provide, here you have just a different visual view that you do want if you wanted to chart in that way as well. So that's really a brief overview of Advisor Tools overall, and thank you for taking the time and listening to the that overview webinar today. We really value and thank you for doing business with us. I hope this was helpful and useful to you in the future on utilizing Advisor Tools to its best ability for you, how you want to utilize it. And if you have any more questions or would like to set up a one-on-one time for a more in-depth overview of Advisor Tools, training, please feel free to visit our quick reference guide, or to contact your account manager, myself, or our Advisor Tools support line. And once again, I hope this was helpful, and look forward to our next webinar. So thank you very much.